Even though this cover is a blatant copy-paste of Book 25, it's still neat. The background items reference 8 of Encyclopedia Brown's best cases. How many of them are in this book? 0. None of them are in this book. Either the cover artist was lied to, or this is a major cover fail.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
The book comes with a short letter from Donald Sobel about how he came up with the idea for Encyclopedia Brown. The letter is dated April 2012. Sobel died about 6 months later, so he never got to celebrate Encyclopedia Brown's 50th anniversary. That's sad. The book has 15 cases. I've reviewed them all in other books, but hey, I can go through them again. Case 1. We start with the first Encyclopedia Brown case ever. It's explained he's called Encyclopedia because he's so smart, and his father lets him solve police cases. Natty Nat is a robber with a distinctive belt on the back of his gray coat. He sneaks up on a store owner and forces the man to face the wall while he takes the money. Encyclopedia points out the store owner never saw the robber's back, therefore he couldn't have seen the distinctive belt and identified the robber. The store owner faked the whole thing for the insurance money. I think it was a bad choice to start with this mystery, because it's the only mystery in this series without a solution. The solution's in the story. They don't have it in the back of the book. I would have started with Case 2. Encyclopedia first meets Sally Kimball in a contest to see who's the smartest. This is also taken from the first book. Bugs and the Tigers are there, and ooh, see, this is what happens when you throw a bunch of stories together. You get continuity errors. If I was the editor, I would have put the stories in a different order to smooth out these continuity problems. Sally tells the mystery of the great Mirko, who died and left a lot of money. After 40 years, they search for Mirko's descendants. A man named Gibson claims to be Mirko's grandson, while Mirko's grandniece says the great Mirko was not his grandfather. Encyclopedia says Gibson inherited. Why? Mirko was Gibson's grandmother. It's a gender trick which works great because Sally tells the story. It makes no sense in context, though. Why would you lie to the judge about Mirko's gender? The judge would already know that. Case 3. The famous Arctic explorer Sir Cameron died recently. Someone stole his money. The house is heavily guarded, so presumably the culprit was forced to hide the money inside. They need to find the money before everything in the house is auctioned off. The house has furniture, Eskimo clothes, and statues of animals, like walruses, polar bears, and penguins. Where is the money? The money's inside the penguins. Penguins live at the South Pole, but Sir Cameron visited the North Pole. So the culprit must have snuck 8 life-size penguins into the heavily guarded building without being noticed, just so they'd have a convenient place to hide dollar bills. That's implausible. The justification is that many people brought the dying man gifts, but if that's true, then it makes sense somebody brought him penguins. They don't fit his collection because they were never his to begin with. Case 4. The first Wilfred Wiggins case. Clearly picked because it's his first appearance, not because it's his best. Wilfred claims he has muscle maker tonic. His friend takes off his old suit coat and flexes for everyone. Wilfred says he grew 100 pounds of muscle in 1 year. What is his mistake? If he grew 100 pounds of muscle in a year, he would have outgrown his coat. Case 5. Chief Brown creates a fake mystery for other police chiefs to solve. Mr. Van Swigget claims his diamond necklace was stolen. Van Swigget tried to fool the thief with a duplicate necklace made of glass. The thief threw the duplicate to the ground and asked for the real thing. Van Swigget shows the duplicate to everyone. How can they solve the case? If the fake glass necklace was thrown to the ground, it would have been shattered, or at least scratched. Since the necklace is in perfect shape, we know Van Swigget is lying. Case 6. Bugs claims to know a top-secret karate move. He grabs his friends by the throat. His friends fall backwards to the ground, unconscious. What is his mistake? Unconscious people always fall forward. That's the solution the book gives, and it is wrong. The direction a person falls in depends on their center of gravity. Since Bugs is pushing them so they're leaning backwards, they would naturally fall backwards. Oh my gosh, why did they include this case in the book? This is one of Encyclopedia Brown's worst cases ever. The mystery is from book 5, so books 1 and 5 both get 2 mysteries in this book. I feel like that's unfair because it means 15 books aren't represented in the Best of Encyclopedia Brown book. Case 7. This case explains that Leroy Brown is called Encyclopedia because he's so smart and his father lets him solve police cases. It is freezing cold in Canada. A man with glasses stepped into a warm building and he saw 2 men robbing a safe. They charged him and knocked off his glasses. He can't see anything without them. Encyclopedia says it was too hot for him to have seen anything. Why? His glasses would have fogged up. I still say he could have wiped off his glasses on his sleeve. That's what a normal person does. But I pulled the internet on this case and they say it was a good solution. Case 8. Bugs Meany enlists his cousin to help frame Encyclopedia for a cello theft. They claim he disguised himself as an ape in order to do it. Wilma runs over, although she has to take small steps because of her short skirt. She claims she just got back from a cello performance. What is her mistake? You don't play cello while wearing a short skirt. Case 9. This case explains that Leroy Brown is called Encyclopedia because he's so smart, and his father lets him solve police cases. This is the 3rd case of the book to introduce the premise of the series. That's what happens when 3 of your mysteries were the first case of their respective books. Eagles were shot on a western cliff. Mike claims he was walking towards the moon that night, but he didn't see anything. What is his lie? The moon doesn't rise in the west, it rises in the east. This was a good pick for one of the best cases, since the direction of the sun/moon solution was reused 4 times over the course of the series. Case 10. Jack Higginbottom claims to have pages from the diary of Mary Ball Washington, the mother of George Washington. In her diary, she writes that her baby is so wonderful she thinks he could grow up to be president. And in fact, she was alive when he became the first president in 1789. Encyclopedia says the diary is phony. Why? She would not have written about baby George being president. There was no president when he was born. I want to note that this case is from the second to last Encyclopedia Brown book. Especially in the solutions section, it is glaringly obvious that this book was written in a different font from all the others. Did they photocopy pages from the previous books instead of typing them out on a computer? Case 11. The bank is robbed and the getaway car hits a passerby. A woman stops an ambulance and forces them to help. They load the passerby into the ambulance feet first. Encyclopedia tells his father to make an arrest. Who should be arrested? The ambulance people. They are fakers. Real ambulance drivers load people in head first. I remember polling the internet on this, and they said people don't know this information. Case 12. This case explains that Leroy Brown is called Encyclopedia because he's so smart and his father lets him solve police cases. Bugs Meany claims he invented a new type of baseball pitch. He has a letter from the New York Yankees dated June 31st to back up his story. The letter says they'll pay $100 for it, and the pitcher expects to win 30 games with it. What is Bugs's mistake? There is no such date as June 31st. Also, it must be August now, and August is pretty close to the end of the baseball season, so it's cutting it close to say one person's going to pitch 30 games before the season ends. Case 13. Pablo the artist stole a bunch of garbage for a sculpture. He claims he's been sitting in his chair for hours working on the sculpture. Encyclopedia runs his hand along the cold chair seat and feels paint drops. They're dry. He waits a few minutes before accusing Pablo of the theft. Why? If he sat in his chair for hours, it would still be warm. I question this because we don't know how long he's been standing up or the specific heat-retaining properties of the chair, but everyone assures me that this is a good solution. Case 14. Fleet and Baldy are track rivals. Baldy shaves his head before every single race. After today's big race, they fight over a gym bag. Inside the bag are valuable stamps, a towel, soap, deodorant, and hair gel. Whose bag is it? It's Fleet's bag. Baldy's bag wouldn't have hair gel because he's bald. This is a good solution, but if you want to nitpick, we know for a fact that Baldy isn't always bald. He just shaved today, meaning he had hair yesterday. It's reasonable to assume he still has hair gel. When I shaved my head, I didn't automatically throw out all my old shampoo, after all. Case 15. This case explains that Leroy Brown is called Encyclopedia because he's so smart and his father lets him solve police cases. An American ambassador was just kidnapped. He's a champion water skier who is going to try skiing on snow for the first time. Shortly before his kidnapping, he got birthday presents. They are a spear gun, ski wax, face mask, air tank, water skis, and a diving suit. Which gift belongs to the culprit? The ski wax. That was the only present for snow skis. All the other presents are for water skis. So, two cases get half a point, and one case gets no points. Other than that, these are solid cases. I give Encyclopedia Brown and his best cases ever a 13 out of 5, which is an 8.7 out of 10. I wonder if they were planning to do a second collection of Encyclopedia Brown's greatest mysteries. They could pick one from each of the 15 remaining books. That would have worked pretty well.